Today on the program, coupists close airspace amid expiration of ECOWAS deadline for coup reversal as President Tinubu meets with governors of states sharing border with Niger. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Haile Balogun. If you're ready, let the hangout start. Thank you for staying with us. Former Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, is furious over fake news about his person. The former Lagos State Governor, who denied allegation of writing judgment for the 2023 Presidential Election Petition Tribunal by Twitter user Jackson Uday, wants action by security agencies against peddlers of rumor. Fashola, through his special advisor on media, Akim Bello, insisted that the allegation is baseless, defamatory, and part of plots to undermine the judiciary. Today, we've not seen the worst of this, but anything is possible now with social media. Everything you can just think of. People will sit down in their sitting room and except they start handing over punishment to these guys. The last time, somebody said, I've made an accusation against, I forgot this girl's name, popular celebrity, Yoruba celebrity.
Tell me something.
He had to go to court and in 2 years. And the person was actually charged and given the option of fine. 3 years imprisonment with an option.
It was very quick. That's not true.
Rendition of justice, and one insignificant politician came out to say no. Why did they quickly pass judgment like this? And I'm like, what is the matter with you? How is it an aberration to pass judgment quickly? You are the same people who complain that the wheel of justice winds
very slow
in our country. Now they responded quickly. You are now saying because a lot of them want to simply sit on Twitter and other
and fabricate
social media platforms and lie outright against people. These shameless people claim that the Chief Justice of the nation, CJN,
Salami?
not Salami, that the CJN was Ariwola. Ariwola went abroad to have a meeting with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. At the time when those silly people were going around with that claim, the man was attending mosque in Abuja when they claimed he was abroad with Tinubu to have a meeting.
On the Friday.
Then they also claimed, and their capacity for evil shows in the way they sit down and craft
and concoct
and thoroughly, I don't want to use the word concord, the way they craft it. The expertise are doing evil. The way they sit down, craft it, they make it so believable reading it. They said, one of the judges was very angry and decided that the executive wanted to force him to give judgment in his favor. Then under that, they now explained that the executive they meant was Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was discovered, and they also claimed that Wike was having meetings with some judges, only for us to discover that the judge didn't go anywhere. The judge never resigned. The judiciary came out to say this judge is still there.
He's a member of that panel.
He's a member of the panel.
He's going to write his judgment?
He's going, yes, because they are working on their judgment.
Yeah, so, and it's a 5-man panel.
What we are seeing is part of the plot to intimidate the judiciary and get the judiciary to give a judgment that tallies with their own thinking. It is, Justice Okoro said it now, while giving judgment on the matter of double registration or by
attempt to intimidate the judiciary.
The man said, look, you are using the judiciary, you are using the social media to intimidate the judiciary. That when will this stop? So for a Supreme Court judge to come out and say that, I should tell you the extent to which these people are going.
Yeah.
All these things are planned. Some people can see clearly that they cannot win in court.
There's no path.
Because they have clearly failed to provide the evidence that will give them victory. Now, beyond regaling the rest of us with shitty stories that they write on those social media. They have now resorted to even concocting outright falsehood. Fashola was enjoying himself here.
Resting.
The bad day. No, there was even a bad day on that day, or the bad day of this former PAMSEC lands in Lagos. The one here in...
Ashafa.
Ashafa.
Senator Ashafa.
They were having a party. The man was enjoying himself. You know, dancing. Even the video where he was dancing was released. And then one never do well. We sit down somewhere, you know, and use Twitter.
And the thing will go viral. And if you see the viewership, the followership, the comments,
our people
they are very gullible.
Our people like salacious stories. Salacious stories.
Jackson J.
Look, salacious stories without any basis in reality. Our people enjoy reading them. If
Very
you want
malicious.
to, if you want to show people that this is wrong, and you are providing evidence, they are not interested in reading you. It is those out of the world stories.
Look at the second paragraph. Fashola, who is alleged to have supervised the rigging of the 2023 presidential election in favor of Tinubu, was also alleged to have written the judgment for judges in 2019.
Let's not regulate. If we start reading what is there, people at home
We have not seen it.
who is like giving publicity to idiocy, something that is not true.
Amazing.
You know? Yes, we don't have to let the people know the content, because the content will drive people to revulsion.
Yeah.
People know why they are doing these things. And let the judges decide.
I think something.
Why they attempt to intimidate judges?
I think there must be something that will serve as deterrent, so that people will not come to the internet, fabricate stories that you can't substantiate. Like that lady, I've forgotten her name again now, Yoruba actress. She went to court.
Eniola Badmus.
She went to court and
God
didn't
judgment.
reply the person. She went to court.
She was begging, but she refused.
Said she
to.
was
Yes, she
said she was
took
hungry.
the
and
girl
all
to
that.
court. Today,
I
the girl is an ex-convict.
The best thing the former minister can do for us as a nation is to take this character to court. That's the best thing they can do.
No, but it's not based here.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, the guy, the Jackson.
Based here.
Because
How does he sue him?
the guy,
They know what they are doing.
the guy,
It's not based here.
I remember when I was with a newspaper, and the people were suing us left, right, and center. And I talked to a lawyer. He said, we can't sue the small papers. All we have to do is look for somebody with enough pedigree who has shared this story and take him to court. Because what the man said then, 20-something years ago, got to me. He said, we come after your paper because it's
No
the
credible
best.
medium will share the story.
So, individuals, I know some
Kind of editor
individuals that will share
provides
this,
kind of
and they even endorse it, because a lot of people at that side are actually looking for validation. They are not looking for facts. They are not interested in facts. They are looking for validation of their position. And I hope that we are ready. Until the judgment is given at the Supreme Court, this will continue.
No, it will continue because
So it's not going to stop.
It's a game.
mind game.
It's a game.
Because
they are bent on intimidating those judges.
Because they know, because I told one of them already, I said, look, read the final, whatever they call it, the final address of your candidates. There's nothing there about mandates. You are still shouting, mandates.
No results. What you are saying,
You understand?
If you are saying that you won, where is the alternative result that you are provided?
That is different from the one that can has shown. And the judge,
Is it the court that will now bring that one out for
Just
you?
wait for the judgment day.
it's going to get worse before it gets better.
No, only God knows what will happen in the few hours to only God knows. There's nothing they will not say. These guys have lost their brains. And it is clear that they are getting worse. How can an individual who claimed that a judge had resigned from the tribunal, he's not prepared to leave the tribunal alone. He just wants to continue to smear their image.
Yeah. Sometimes Jide will sit down here and I'll read some statements credited to Jide. I
You laugh.
even have to call him Jide. Did this emanate from you?
They said that
As
was
bad
one
as
where they were
that.
saying that.
As bad as that.
There's even a video they sent to me about a pastor putting pictures of the judges and then saying something against them to the congregation. Is that the word of God? Is that the next best thing? To take pictures of the members of the panel, put it on a big screen, and then tell the people to start pointing to them.
Get away with murder in Nigeria, get away with blue murder. They can't do these things abroad.
Can't do it anywhere.
You can see why some countries are even coming up with stringent regulations against.
And now see why people are
against the social media.
Social media to
yes.
be regulated.
If
Now,
you go on like this, the agitation
like
will be definite to the point that in Nigeria they have to do something about it.
Seriously.
The freedom
We all
to
sit down
libel
and agree.
people, to insult people, lie against people by people who are not good enough to even look you straight in the face. It's just too much. Frustrated young men who are so empty. They simply sit on social media. The people that they cannot match in any way, they see the social media as a leveler, as a place that gives them the opportunity to insult those people. You know, we said it before. I've seen some people who abuse me on social media, and we met. They couldn't look at me in the face. They put their faces down. There's some of them like that. I've even seen people who abuse me on social media who came here to come and appear on even programs that I supervise. Can you imagine?
It's a tragedy that
you abuse me for being objective. The APCO, they came, you abuse me on social media, on Facebook, and then you have the cheek to still come to a program that I supervise. And I can easily bounce you even 2 minutes to the program.
Thank you.
I can bounce you. Right there, you enter the studio and say, no, I don't want to see. What are you going to do? You go and report to people on social media. Are they the ones who supervise the program? Silly people all over the place. Extremist, APC, and PDP people.
Yeah.
Sitting on social media and simply abusing people. I mean, it has to get to that point. Look at the one who was abusing the Emeka Ofo. You saw what Emeka Ofo did to him. He claimed that Emeka Ofo was working for Asiwaju and all that. And the man got hold of him. Had to apologize. He recorded a video apologizing. These people, examples have to be made of.
Seriously, that's the next thing.
Including those of them who stay abroad. There has to be a way.
Yeah, so
I think what Fashola has done is right. Because he has a petition Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter can then decide that, okay,
to put down that person.
We'll do something about this account. But you could still go and form a fake account. A lot of them are people without address, without name.
Yes.
And that's even the way their lives are.
Yes.
No? Insignificant people.
Faceless. Now, the concept of esprit de corps predisposes a feeling of mutual loyalty among the military. So when a female soldier killed a senior colleague at the checkpoint in Jola, Adamawa State, it called for concern. The female soldier, identified as Lance Corporal Nkiru, shot a captain who attempted to intervene in an altercation with civilians at the fire service roundabout in Jola. The victim was confirmed dead at the Federal Medical Center, Jola, while the suspect was instantly arrested by soldiers. I don't understand this. I know that fire service is close to a very big beer parlor, a bar.
Roundabout in Yola.
So maybe this woman was under the influence of something.
Well, the army is still investigating, and a few minutes before we got in here, I confirmed that the person killed is actually a lieutenant, not a captain. It's reported in the media. It's actually a lieutenant. Lieutenant Silas. That's the name. So his preliminary investigation shows that she didn't kill the soldier. You know, where you are carrying a gun with ammunition locked up in it, and you fail to close the chamber. Anything can happen. So this guy, to a lot of the soldiers in that place, he killed the Oga in error. But as I said, they are still investigating, so we'll leave the army to conclude their investigation. But the curfew that the governor imposed was initially 24 hours. Later on, they reduced it to 16 hours. Now, the curfew has been relaxed to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It will take off from 10 p.m.
Well, ordinarily
before night
everybody...
it was 6 p.m. So, you know, as they usually do,
6 hours, so relax it gradually.
Ease it up gradually. So it's now 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But people will be caught in traffic. Intercity commuters,
Travelers, yeah.
you know, will be caught in traffic.
Coming from neighboring...
Those were the people who are begging that, come on, please assist us, let us pass. And the woman talked to her gun that he will not let people pass. So it was at that point that the lieutenant walked towards her to try to get her to give some of the people who are on essential duty. People, even during curfews, you still give preference to people on
essential duty.
Even during the election.
So at that point, I think that problem happened, and the officer was killed in error. And it's not the whole of the state that the curfew was imposed. Yola North, Yola South, Gire, and Noman. Those are urban centers in the state. And the whole idea was to stop the looting of government warehouses where grains and palliatives were kept. So that was the governor's idea, that the curfew will help them stop the looting, while those who had stolen those things were told to bring them back. I don't know to what extent the governor succeeded, because he was threatening them that if they do not bring back what they've stolen,
The use of...
people who are hungry, it will be difficult to get them to return what they've stolen.
I think the military will have to look into it very well and carry out the proper investigation and maybe a reorientation, because it should be the last. It should be the last action to be taken at the use of weapons.
Yeah, normally weapons by law enforcement officers in public are meant to be on lock. There's a lock on the something. You should now unlock when you want to use it. But accidents will happen. A lot of people are under a lot of stress. It doesn't matter whether they are soldiers or civilians. And accidents will happen. But my sincere prayer is that after the investigation, justice is done. Because a lot of people have mental issues, especially with the current situation in the country. And people are on the edge always. Little things like this can lead to altercation at anybody's part. I'm sure the lady must be a very good shot for her to carry a gun that is unlocked. But again, what will happen, will happen. But the key here is that the army must not sweep this under the carpet. They must thoroughly investigate and then get back to us as an interested party what happened, because the next thing we know, the army will now say it's been resolved, and then maybe the girl will be dismissed or whatever they need to do to her. But we must understand that with the way things are in this country right now, everybody must be extra vigilant and extra careful, because a lot of people are on the edge.
Yeah, and you know, these things keep happening. Sometimes when soldiers have been at the same location for too long, frustration gets the better of them, and we hear of this kind of accidents or even deliberate action involving soldiers and their colleagues. And,
low morale.
Yes. Sometimes they even they kill their seniors, having been in the same place. There was a case of I think in this same Madama, and a soldier opened fire on his colleagues. He had been in that place for more than 4 years.
Mental evaluation is
keeping soldiers at the same location, war zone. Keeping them in the war zone for up to 4 years. It's wrong. It leads to frustration. They miss their family. They miss their kids. I think the middle past year of army staff even introduced something whereby they just give you a ticket, you know, to go and see your family. You can come back. It's I don't want to call it pass, because that one is different. Because the army will bankroll it. The army will give you a flight ticket to and fro for you to go and see them. It's like a morale booster, just to boost their morale. You know, go and see your family at the army's expense. You see them, you come back. That helps. But keeping servicemen in the same war location for too long. Even during the Gulf War, you saw American soldiers turning their guns against their colleagues. So that has to look at how they can end that. In the month of March alone, this last March, 2 incidents happened. On March 6th, a Lance Corporal committed suicide after killing 3 colleagues. Then on March 13th, a soldier opened fire on his colleagues and killed him. He opened fire on his colleague and killed him in Goza. Yeah, that's in Borno State. So these things happen.
Yeah, mental evaluation is key when it comes to
mental health of the troops.
Rampant.
Mental health of the troops.
You remember the story, which I cannot verify whether it's true or not, of the American sniper that was trained for Iraq. When they were now withdrawing, he has not sniped on anybody. That's one like that. So he now went on top of the roof and started picking innocent people. Because mentally, he just couldn't understand why he was kept in one place for that long and he was not allowed to shoot anybody. And he wanted him to go back home. Instead of going back home, he now decided to test. So all over the world, people are trying very hard not to look at the mental health of officers on the field. Because normally a tour of duty is 2 to 3 years. But Nigeria, I understand people are doing 2, 3 tours of duty before being allowed to go. And that to me is unfortunate.
Right.
We just have to pray for the repose of the soul of the innocent captain who lost his life just while trying to intervene.
And it should not be swept under the carpet. The military, they owe us that responsibility to let us know what's really transpired.
Yes.
Okay. In Nasarawa State, north-central Nigeria, some bandits committed a sacrilege. The government abducted the emir of Gaku, Jibrin Mohammed, and his wife, and at their palace in Karu local government area. The State Commissioner of Police, Miyaki Mohammed Baba, deployed a combined team of police operatives and the vigilante group to the scene, who searched the area to rescue them without success. Wait, this traditional ruler today?
Yes. You know, what has happened has reinforced the need to do something about Nasarawa State. Insecurity is becoming such a big problem in Nasarawa State currently.
First-class registration.
About 2 weeks ago, along Akwanga Road, they attacked the home of Labaran Maku. They almost kidnapped his wife. But the security operatives stepped in and ensured that the woman was not taken away by these bandits. Banditry is becoming a big problem in Nasarawa State now.
No Karu. Just catch your breath. GKB, when you look at the situation, especially Nasarawa State is always coming, you know.
It's a recurring decimal.
Why? Is it because of the location?
Yeah, the location is fundamental. And don't forget that in the last few years, banditry has been moving southwards. And that Niger is the epicenter. And because of the closeness of Nasarawa to those states that are affected, this is bound to happen. Don't forget that this year or last year, I'm not really sure, people were caught in Abuja itself trying to do SS elements within the country. So I think what the military need to do is step up the game. These are very wide areas. Incidentally, it's a major savanna area, which means that you can see for miles. But only those who understand the terrain can really do that level of damage within the context of the state. Because like I said, Nasarawa is not only next door to Abuja, it's also a very critical area for the trade route between north and the south. That means those who are trying very hard to find alternative routes, they do to through Jeba, and now also liable to get kidnapped along that way. But this one, picking traditional rulers, is a statement of intent. Because you expect that
going to the palace.
Yeah, you expect that the traditional ruler will have the best protection that the state could offer. But incidentally, this is not the case. And unless and until we find our way around solving the problem of them coming to urban areas, they will run into trouble.
Okay, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay with us.
Work in the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe.
The Senate did not hear that one. Because if the money went into somebody's account, there is no member of this Senate that will have the password to that account to view whether the money entered or not.
All right. Thank you for staying with us. We'll just take you quickly to the National Assembly now, where the last screening for Festus Keyamo.
Our investigation and our oversight that will find out whether the entire 52 billion actually entered into the hands of those that were meant to enter. You were, as a minister, you were not expected to see 1 naira unless you were a beneficiary. Senator Akwashiki.
Mr. Chairman, my very distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Akwashiki Godia, representing Nasarawa Senatorial District of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, the nominee before us today, Festus Keyamo, SAN, that was nominated by His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to serve as a minister in his cabinet, was also a minister in the last administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. And he happens to be a minister for state that supervises NDE and the arbitration panel under my own committee on labor, employment, and productivity. Just like he said, after 3 months of his nomination, there was a pandemic in Nigeria, COVID-19, and there was some fund that was allocated to the ministry under his watch to caution the effect of the COVID-19. And that happens to be the chairman then. We invited him here in the same hall, and I serve as the chairman of the combined committee, both the Senate and the House of Reps. And something came up. We tried to ask questions. We tried to ask questions to know what is happening, just like Darlington have said it earlier before. Senator Darlington, Minority Whip, have said it before now. We tried to know what really happened with the fund and what is going on. But here, he told us in the presence of the minister, the senior minister, Senator Ngegi, that he is not answerable to the Senate. He was appointed by this. But at the end of the day, he left. And after like 2 months, I think he looked for both me and the chairman House of Reps, that then we can submit the list of the National Assembly then. But when he came to what, a lot of senators then were very angry then because the thing has scattered. But today before this Senate, I can see he has apologized. Can apologize. One house, one house, one house, one house, one house. Please, I'm protected by Mr. Chairman. I'm protected by Mr. Chairman, please. Yes. And a lot of people were not angry, including myself then. I wasn't happy. But after that incident, just like he mentioned now, to appropriation, because the day he made a statement here, it looked as if he won't even appear before the National Assembly again. But after then, we invited the ministry to appear before us to defend their budget. He was there. And even the last budget, 2023 budget that was defended by the ministry, he was also there, just like he said. Now that he's apologized before the National Assembly, including myself, because I also have a question that I should ask. But now that I apologize, I want to appeal to the General House and the Senate under the leadership of Mr. Chairman, who the Senate President, that I am moving a motion for him to take the leave of the Senate and to go and not to sin again. Take a leave and go, and don't repeat such again now that you have apologized before this horror house, because this is the highest institution of lawmaking in Nigeria. And our duty is to oversight the executive arm of government for checks and balances. Mr. Chairman, sir, take this as a motion before this horror house to consider. Thank you. I so move.
The motion is a bit windy. Is there anybody who can put it straight? Because I would think that the nominee has apologized, and then somebody will move a motion to say whether we have accepted the apology or not, and then we move on. But when you narrated the incident and then you said now that he has apologized, that you want to move a motion, you haven't moved the motion. You said you want to move a motion. The Chief Whip of the Senate, can you lead us?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we are here for this purpose, which we all know. And we have Kiyamo before us. On resumption, he apologized. The next thing the Senate President would do is to put the question whether we have accepted the apology or not, and we move on. And from all indication, all of us have accepted the apology because we are human. This thing has passed, and as you rightly said, if there is anything related to that project that needs to be investigated, there is no foreclosure to it. So please put the question.
The Senate President will not put a question when there is no motion. So I expect somebody to move a motion so that we decide whether we have accepted the apology or not. Not that the Senate President should put a question when there is no motion. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. I'm Mohamed Ali Ndume. I move the motion that this Senate do accept the apologies tendered by the nominee. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. President Piggy Baranada. Mr. President, I stand here to second the motion as ably moved by the Senate Whip that the apologies of our brother Festus Keyamo be accepted. And so, second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and duly seconded that the apologies tendered to the Nigerian Senate in the past, today, and in the future by our brother over his conduct in the 9th Senate be accepted. Those who are in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. The apologies are hereby accepted. Yes, distinguished Senator Jaribe.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Jarek Bag. I represent the good people of Cross River North. I move a motion that the nominee, Festus Keyamo Sang, takes a leave of the Senate. I so move.
The distinguished Senator Sango Dara, Jr.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as the chair, my distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Senator Jarigbe. I so second.
Point of order by distinguished Senator Neda.
Order 10. Distinguished President sitting as chair, if I have your indulgence, may I please read it? Order 10. Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the contempt or breach of his privilege has been committed. Mr. President, this motion being moved is to cut all of us up from any question that we still have to ask the nominee. We will accept his apology. No, we still have questions. No, we still, can we not ask questions? You are cutting me off. You are cutting us off. You are cutting us off. Okay, Mr. President, may
I? Point of order. Point of order noted. Distinguished colleagues, a motion is on the floor that in view of the apology tendered by this former minister who had earlier been cleared by this August Assembly, that he be allowed to take leave of the Senate. Those who are in favor of this motion say aye. Aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. It was seconded. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators, I move
Gide, Festus Keyamo, earlier caused controversy in the floor of the 10th Assembly.
You know, on the day, that day that they were referring to, that incident that they're referring to, the altercation, I remember condemning his actions that day. Yes, it's on record. I said, no, you are a minister of the Federal Republic, you must respect the National Assembly. You know? It was a real drama that day, you know, press looking for information. So he went.
While he was saying, I'm answerable to Mr. President.
But if they don't clear you, there's nothing the president can do. And we've seen people that they didn't clear at all. They didn't clear.
Magu.
So if they don't clear you, there's nothing Mr. President can do. But I think that in the end, he did the right thing. Apologizing. We all make mistakes. I like the way the man always dressed in white spoke. That's Senator Nduma. He said, we all make mistakes, you know. So it's a good thing that they spare these blushes, because all these people on Twitter who do not like Yamo, if they had failed to confirm him today, they will have caused Kiyamo to go and hide under his bed, because they would have thoroughly taken him to the cleaners. They were waiting and praying. Imagine, the whole affair had not ended when somebody...
Every major news story is with many perspective and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did they...
Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Mr. Keyamo will be circumspect, knowing that there was always another time.
Yes.
You come back to that same Senate.
Yeah.
You tell them that you are always answerable to Mr. President.
What goes wrong comes
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Because once you still want to continue to serve Nigeria at a particular level, you cannot afford to
part of their oversights. They can summon you at any given time.
You cannot.
You have to.
And they too have to respect themselves. I think the conduct of some of these lawmakers, you know, piling pressure, demanding for this, demanding for that, will never make people respect them. People may respect them momentarily because they need something. But respect has to be earned. So they too, as senators and House of Reps members, they need to give themselves that regard.
Okay. I think Keyamo is the last man there, so let's expect the Senate to go on with the process of confirmation. The coup in the Republic of Niger is taking many dimensions. The coup leaders have closed their country's airspace after rejecting an ultimatum from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to reinstate deposed President Mohamed Bazoum or risk military intervention. The move came as tens of thousands of coup supporters gathered at the stadium in the capital, Niamey, to cheer the generals who seized power. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with governors of states that share boundaries with the Niger Republic. The states represented at the meeting are Sokoto, Kebbi, Yobe, Katsina, and Jigawa. Let's share some updates on the situation with you.
In today's world, our lifestyle, both at work and at play, depends on connectivity. Our connectivity depends on the devices that make it possible, and these devices depend on electric power. When power fails, our life shrinks, our work drops, and our joy dips. JRB Solar Energy Systems are here to ensure that we enjoy uninterruptible power, uninterruptible joy. Whether you're running a business, an institution, or just a home you return daily to rest, JRB has got you covered. No project is too big for our super digital inverters, long-lasting batteries, and efficient solar panels. Go. Dream on. Change your world. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights, and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. With JRB, the sun's gonna shine on everything you do.
Uncertainty looms over a country of about 25 million people. Niger's junta refused to meet with emissaries sent by ECOWAS and Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu. There are indications the junta has sought the help from Russia's Wagner Group in anticipation of the use of force by ECOWAS following the end of a 7-day ultimatum to restore the democratically elected government.
Efforts to engage with all relevant stakeholders, dialogue and negotiations should be at the forefront of our...
Sanctions by the regional bloc have seen cuts to power supply from Nigeria to the landlocked country, among other penalties. But the junta is stuck to its guns. The Alumni Association of Nigeria's National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies calls for increased dialogue with the junta to resolve the impasse. In a statement, the association, which is an offshoot of one of the country's highest policy think tank, urges ECOWAS against the use of force. The group says, quote, military action by ECOWAS may escalate the current situation in the humanitarian crisis and worsen the security challenges in the West African sub-region. It may also escalate the tensions in the fragile security situation in the Lake Chad region and other parts of West Africa, attracting other armed groups and external actors to take advantage of it, end of quote. For now, it's unclear what ECOWAS' next line of action would be. Sifon ACN TVC News, Abuja.
I think looking at the pulse of the nation and what the Northern Senator said this weekend, and Nigerians particularly, I think Nigerians are against the invasion of the Nigeria Republic.
Intervention.
Military action by the economic community of West African states. What I hear them saying is that, look, we have enough problem in our hands. Let's just face our problem and leave this big brother role and just face what we are going through.
Yes, we have enough problems. And you know, the problem is when you talk about ECOWAS, it's Nigeria.
Yeah, honestly.
Has to take
everything.
The bigger burden. So at the end of the day,
we spend
the
money.
Country will spend much more on defense than in previous years, because going to war is not easy. Even fighting Boko Haram is not easy. It's extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. We are still, the war is still on. So for me, there's no point going to war. I can understand that the heads of governments on the sub-region do not want this to get to them, because it's looking like another version of the Arab Spring.
Yeah, like a tsunami.
Between 2020 and now, 6 countries
the sub-region
have seen military rule, and new military leaders. So I still believe that the asphyxiation of that junta can happen if the sanctions are continued, because they are already complaining about the sanctions. If
feel the heat,
tighten the nose, it's still possible to get him. And what I think they should do now is to allow the ECOWAS and save face by allowing the AU to mediate, continue the mediation, and let's see where this leads us. It's understandable that they are worried that their neighbors are suddenly becoming military governments, but everything put together, Nigeria has a lot to lose. All of those states, Borno State, Yobe, Sokoto, Katsina, Jigawa, and Kebbi. Six states share by extensive border with these people. So it is those states that will suffer, because the refugees pouring in will create problems for them.
Actually, the refugees will end up in Lagos.
That can lead to insurgency against Nigeria, because those people can come and kidnap our people, and take our people prisoner. What are you going to do about it? You start struggling to have them freed.
On a good day, some people say that yes, we can crush the military. That look is not something that if we have the Western backing, we have everybody, France and the United States, they are urging our government and everything. But people are still very skeptical that this is not the time.
It's not the time. This is not 1973 when we have so much money. Our only problem is how to spend it.
Yes.
It's 2023 where we have no money. There's no money to spend on frivolities. I understand the dynamics. I want to play Big Brother, and that anything happening in the sub-region is our responsibility. But even the almighty American army has been humbled more than once. When they took on battles they assume will soon be over. Remember that on this program, people posited that the Russian-Ukrainian war will last 6 weeks. And it's going to 2 years now. So there is no easy war. There is no win-win in any war. It's usually a war that has both cultural and religious implications for a majority of our people. Because this time is not, I'm not going to look at it as a war against the soldiers. That's what the soldiers are getting. They are using the sub-West African threats to get the loyalty of their people. It's giving them validation because other people are trying to attack their country. It's a very simple way of gaining legitimacy when it comes to coups. I don't want Nigeria to play the role where, I don't know the English word for it, for the Wafagbo, that when the US, they have bases there, France has bases there, and it's us, they have to bear the brunt of the something. Because with a base, with over 10,000 soldiers, and the coup was organized by an army of 12,000 people, they don't need us to really crush it if they're interested. So while I agree that our big brother image is at stake, the reality in our country today does not warrant that we stretch our luck that far. Because, like you said, almost 22 years or 23 years or 24 years now of Boko Haram, we've not solved the problem. And that's even internal. Now imagine bringing in external dimension to that.
To some of our northern brothers, they're even looking at this is like fighting your brother. As in, they are so connected.
Yes.
Some people have relatives and
they have cousins.
Yes.
Just across the border. There's no doubt about it that this is like going to war against your brother, and that is not what people want to see. Intermarriage has happened between these people. When you look at the Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno State, it's about 1,600 kilometers of long border.
Mostly open.
And the Nigeria Republic has 7 states, and the capital Niamey. 5 of these states have cultural, religious, and tribal relationship with Nigeria. Places like Doso, with Kebbi State, Tahua, with Sokoto State, Maradi, with Katsina, Zinda, with Kano and Jigawa State, and Difa, with Borno State. So when you look at the map of Nigeria Republic, you will find that 70 to 80% of their population lives in the southern part of the country, and that is the part
our border
with Nigeria. So it's going to cause a massive problem when ECOWAS goes to war, because I don't want us to start thinking like it's Nigeria that is going to war. It's an ECOWAS resolution that will lead to war in that place. Ghana does not want what has happened. Sierra Leone, Senegal, another African giant, does not want what has happened. So,
but some people are saying that we are crying more than the bereaved. That the majority of the citizens in the Republic, they're okay with the change.
There's no way of finding that out, because they saw people jubilate.
Yes.
Here in Nigeria, people get paid to go and jubilate about something, and you see people even turning their placards upside down, meaning that they don't even know what they are. So, you know that election, the election that Bazoum won, he won narrowly. This sort of thing could happen in Nigeria, especially when an election is very controversial and close. There are people today who don't know their left from their right, who don't even know the dangers in military rule, whom if they hear today that military takes power in Nigeria, they will be jubilating. They will think that is their prayers in churches that have been answered. That is the level of hatred for the person who has emerged. You don't like the person who has emerged, there's any way that
to throw everything away.
You know, the in 1983, what happened?
A lot of people
it was the people who lost election who were shouting and shouting and shouting. And at the end of the day, the army exploited the opportunity and they took power.
Even 1993.
God forbid. This is the thing. This is what always happens. I'm telling you, and you will see people, they will jubilate. In Nigeria, if it happens, some people will jubilate. But would there be evidence to show that majority of Nigerians want it? I've seen videos of people jubilating in Nigeria. But I know that election was a close affair, and there are people who are not happy with the outcome. It's the same way that our people are thinking. People who are behaving like maladjusted people, they don't care whether military comes. I'm telling you, Maybe some people went to beg that military should take over before inauguration. So if it happens in our country,
we have to leave it there. GKB, thank you. Sometimes we could go on and on.
Gide has all these special adjectives.
Huh?
He has all these adjectives for this people.
Well,
It seems you do your research.
And that's our program today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of Journalist Hangout.
Yeah.
You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. We are on Sunday, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout. On Sunday, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Zubakun. See you tomorrow.
Pass ball. Care for skills. Here for choice. Here for fans. Here for dreams. Here for goals. Here for celebrations. Whether she's playing or watching the beautiful game, we're here for her. Here for all 64 matches of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Live on Supersport. Get and stay connected.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance on your home without having to worry about wires, installations, or heavy light bills? Introducing the incredible Sidebulb HD Cam, the robotic 360-degree two-way torque camera with action tracking technology. Sidebulb is the ultimate solution for discreet and powerful surveillance. It's so easy to install, and the app lets you rotate and view the video from your Sidebulb in real time from any smartphone. You can drop in from anywhere and check in with our two-way talk technology. Talk and listen at the same time.
Hello, Mommy.
Hey, sweetie. I'll be home soon, okay?
Sidebulb's advanced tracking technology locks onto motion and tracks in real time. Set the siren alarm to go up when motion is detected and keep intruders away. Check in on your home while you're away. Make sure the kids got home safely. Interact with visitors at your doorway or surprise a trespasser.
Surveillance in a light bulb. I was amazed at the 360-degree rotation. It gives me a full view of my house and I can check in on my kids. The footage is clear and the night vision is so impressive. The best part, I can add multiple sidebulbs for a complete home surveillance.
I really like my Sidebulb. It's so easy to use. I just downloaded the app, I put it on my phone, and I add it up and run in about 3 minutes.
Traditional surveillance systems are bulky, expensive, and difficult to install. But with Sidebulb HD Cam's innovative design, installation is as fast as changing a light bulb, and it's made for indoor and outdoor surveillance.
The Sidebulb HD Cam is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 200,000 naira for an indoor and outdoor security system that doesn't fully secure your home. But call the number on your screen now and get the Sidebulb HD Cam for just 45,000 naira and get peace of mind. And that's not all. If you call now, we'll give you an extra Sidebulb at no extra cost. That means you buy one and get one free for 45,000 naira. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the Sidebulb HD Cam delivered to you for free wherever you are in Nigeria. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Point of order. Mr. President, point of order. Mr. President, point of order.
A session at the Senate over a motion to step down the confirmation hearing of ministerial nominee Festus Keyamo. The former Minister of State later tendered an unreserved apology to lawmakers and was screened after senators returned from a closed-door session. We have update on that development in the course of the show. It's day 70 of President Bola Tinubu's administration, and we're monitoring events and developments in his first 100 days. Thanks for joining us on the program. You can join the conversation right now on Twitter using the hashtag #first100days. Remember to tag at TVC News NG and at Nifemi Oguntoye. So Senator representing Abia Central, Darlington Nwokocha, on Monday during the ministerial screening accused Mr. Keyamo of disrespecting the 9th National Assembly and accusing the last assembly of being corrupt, saying the employment scheme of 774,000 Nigerians during a service as Minister of State wasn't satisfactory to the 9th Senate. Mr. Keyamo was Minister of Labor and Employment in the former administration, and he had accused the lawmakers of attempts to blackmail him. And Senator representing Abia South, Inaya Abaribe, also seconded that motion, saying that it's important that the step down the former minister's screening until these issues are resolved. The president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, then put the motion to a voice vote, and as a rowdy session ensued, the Senate dissolved into executive session. Festus Keyamo was the last ministerial nominee of President Bola Tinubu's 48-member list to appear before the Senate.
Therefore, Mr. President of the Senate, I'm of the opinion that we hold this down a little bit, and I move a motion that we suspend forthwith this nomination and wait until when this is clear, so that he can freely work in our environment and tell Nigerians, I have perfectly done well because this record has been put straight. That is my submission, Mr. President. I rest my case. That I do support that this nominee should be stepped down pending when he decides that the National Assembly has that right to inquire into the workings of a minister and his ministry. I so second.
Festus Keyamo has now tendered an unreserved apology to the senators, and it has been screened.
We insisted on BVN. Every detail is available at the National Director of Employment.